I want to talk about what to do when you're not sure what to do. And I have this bird feeder. It's been raining so much. The ground is so soaked. I mean, it's just like a sponge. And so a lot of the rain got in here. The bottom part is soaked. So the food is not coming out. The seeds aren't coming out. And I have a lot of birds around here that I want to feed, and I saw them coming out today and they can't get to it. I did grab some off the top and throw it on the ground yesterday, so they were getting to some of that, but I want to clean this out. I don't have everything to do it correctly, so I'm just going to do this right now while I talk about what to do when you're not sure what to do. When things seem so muddy, murky, stuck, and not coming out, what do you do? And I'm asking you all that question. Let me know, what do you do when things feel unsure, you're uncertain of the next move or what decision to make? What do you do? I mean, obviously it depends on the situation, how important or urgent it is, but what are some things that you do? For me, physical activity and action. I always talk about ACT, the word ACT, A-C-T, and it stands for action creates things, which means when you start to move your body, do a physical activity, it creates things. It creates thoughts. It creates momentum. It creates opportunities. It just gets your mind out of thinking about the problems and all of the steps and everything, and it moves you into a flow state. And when you're in a flow state, you open up your mind, you open up your awareness, you open up the doors of opportunities for other things to happen. Because otherwise we block ourselves a lot of the times. That's why they say sometimes you are your own worst enemy, because you can block yourself from things, and also that self-talk. But either way, it's warmer out today than it has been finally, but then tomorrow it's supposed to get cold again. But the nature is out. It is alive. It's pretty beautiful out here. And so for me, with what it is that I'm dealing with right now, this is going to be my action for today, because I was sitting there and I did my morning routine like I normally do. And that includes some meditation and breath work and going over like my planner and everything like that. And then I got a text message and it updated me on a situation, and that started to make me think about that and only focus on that. And it is very important and it's an urgent matter. But then I got another message, and then I was also dealing with something that happened the day before, and it just compounds and it can get overwhelming. And that's why I talk about this mental resilience and the mental capacity that you have, because when you're holding a lot already, that one little thing on top knocks it all down, and you start crashing and crumbling. You go into a dark place. You start to spiral into the what ifs, the what if loops of everything, but nothing's happened yet. You're just imagining it. And so you have to catch yourself. You have to break the loop. What is it? Break the pattern or the loop repeats, or something like that. Break the loop or the pattern repeats, however it's said. But you have to break it. So how do we break it? By doing something you don't normally do. Some people walk backwards. Some people do something like that they don't normally do. So they'll get up and start drawing, or they'll get up and just chug, I don't know, milk out of the jug, I guess, if they don't normally do that. I don't know. You just go and do something you don't normally do. And it's been a while since I've been out here, so this is something different. I don't normally do this right here either. So just getting up and doing something different than what you normally do. It may feel counterproductive because you're not being productive towards that actual thing and trying to solve it, but it will open up the doors of possibilities. And I'm believing that, so that's why I'm doing this right now. Because like I said, what I'm dealing with, it's out of my hands. And even what is in my hands, it's still, there's questions behind it and just a lot to it. Maybe eventually I will talk about it once it's done. But yeah, it's something I've never dealt with before, and a crazy situation. But here we are. And I'm not quite sure how to handle this. Like I said, I think that I should get a bucket or something, dump this out, what's in there, and then clean it out. I don't have that around me, so I can't do that. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to stick my hand in here. I don't know if you all can see this. Stick my hand in here, Try and get some of this feed out. I saw the squirrels went before I came out here trying to eat out of it, and this is not for the squirrels, this is for the birds. And there were some beautiful birds out here earlier, a lot of blue and red birds. Of course, the cardinals are the red ones, and a bunch of like small ones, maybe some finches or something, I'm not quite sure. We got a lot of red belly something or another. I don't know the names of a lot of these birds, but I'm gonna throw some of this out here, and I can see this from my window. And my window where I see this at is where I sit down and I do my morning routine when I rise, and I meditate and things like that. And I can see this when I open the window. And so I'm just gonna throw some of that out here for them. And I don't know if you can hear that, but there's some chickens and turkeys out here. And I think they think I'm trying to feed them, which I'm not. This is not for y'all. All right. And let me stop because they're watching me, so I don't want them to think this is for them. Well, I see there's people out and about. You know, when it gets warmer, people get outside. But yeah, anyway, so that's what I was going to go to, is the fact that when I started thinking about all of this stuff, it basically paralyzed me. And that was my logical mind starting to switch off and going into that fear mind, the amygdala. And that takes you to what I talk about all the time, is the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which are your self-defense mechanisms. This is a way to keep you safe. So I feel like a situation is unsafe. And so now my body is automatically going into this mode. And, you know, different modes were coming up. And then, you know, I did different things. I was moving some, I ate, I cleaned. And then I sat down to work on some things and start looking into some stuff. And that's when I started to like get stuck, get more paralyzed. And I didn't want to get up and do anything. I didn't want to get up and record this video. Although I know doing it right now, doing it in advance would help me tomorrow. So I don't have to be doing this tomorrow. And I'm not rushing. And, you know, just it would help me in so many ways, my future self. But I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to, but you know, those are feelings and they will pass. And I just need to get up. I know I need to get up. And then I was like, instead of me thinking about the negative side of, well, it's about to get dark, it's getting a little cooler out, it's not as warm as it was, I wasted time, it's already getting late, I got all these other things to do. I was like, well, there isn't a lot of daylight left. Let me go ahead and do it now, because if I wait any longer, I'm not going to do it today. And if I don't do it today, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then I'm going to be rushing, not in a negative way, but in a helpful way for myself, because I want myself to have a good day tomorrow. Today may not be the best day. And I'm not claiming that already, because it still can be a good day. I don't need to let these things determine or dictate my day and how I feel throughout the whole day. As I say, your emotions are only true and real, the feelings that you have, for 90 seconds, supposedly. And anything after that, you're choosing to hold on to. And so I definitely held on to longer than that. I usually give myself about 5 minutes or so. And then if it's something extreme or really big or urgent, then I allow myself the day. You know, but I try not to go past a day of like moping around and you know, all of the thoughts and allowing myself to feel that deep in it. I need to start doing things to get myself out of it. And so I could feel that happening. And so it was like, you know what, I want to set myself up for tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and get up today. I'm feeling better already. Just standing, moving my body, getting this out verbally. You know, it helps. Again, just being outside, the sunlight helps. I have my grounding mat inside, so I already like did that earlier this morning. But yeah, just getting this fresh air. I mean, yeah, it helps. And so it was like, let me just go ahead and do it. I don't know what I'm going to talk about necessarily. I mean, I have a list of topics and things, but this was one of those, let me just go and talk and see what comes out. And this is what's on my mind right now. And I want to share it, because not all my videos, like I said before, are going to be me sitting down and talking about a specific topic and teaching you something about it. And it has to be only about growth and whatever else and all that. I am passionate about it, so I talk about it a lot. I know it's helpful and it can help so many people, so I talk about it. And with the internet, it can reach so many more people than me just going in person or me just talking on the phone to one person. So I share this online. But I also share my journey. And if you've been here from the beginning, a lot of my subscribers were here from the beginning of my YouTube channel when I was working on my personal wellness, experimenting on myself with a lot of things, starting out my journey in wellness and health and personal development, when I was out in the woods, bushcrafting by myself, when I was traveling solo by myself, in my RV, in my van that I built out into a camper. So a lot of you who have been here stuck with me, I am grateful and thank you for following along in the journey. But that was the origin of this channel. I used to call it The Amazing Odyssey, T-A-O, The Amazing Odyssey. And then seeing it when I just used the letters for the acronym TAO. TAO, I didn't know anything about that. Or some people would say Tao, Taoism or Taoism. I didn't know anything about that. But the way, it's following the way or the path. And these things like that happen in my life, which makes me a believer because they just reveal themselves and it just happens and it leads me somewhere. And I may not know in the moment. And that was something I was thinking about today, is just like trusting and having that faith that you won't know. Sometimes you won't know. You do what you can, but sometimes it's out of your hands. You give it to God. You let it go. It's out of your hands. And so instead of continuing to dwell on it and think about it and all of the what ifs, because it's so easy for us to think about it in the negative sense. Because maybe we had those past experiences or whatever it is. And we're trying to avoid those negative feelings because we don't want that. That's a lack mentality. And it happens. I'm not saying like, you'll never have that ever again and you need to stop it immediately or whatever. Like it happens, it's life. But that is a lack mentality. That means you are lacking something in life, or you feel like you are. And when you feel that way, you're putting yourself in that box. You're keeping yourself behind a wall or blocked off in a cage. You're trapped, you're chained to whatever those thoughts and things are that you are expecting will happen. And it doesn't negate the fact that these things may have happened in the past and they can happen and they've happened to others, but you're limiting yourself. And so when you don't stay in that mentality and you don't stay stuck and you don't stay chained to those thoughts and saying that this is what it's going to be because it's always been that way and that's my luck and blah, 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 and whatever else it is, then you open up the door. You break down the wall. You unlock that cage because you've had the key all along. When you realize that, it opens up the door of possibilities. It opens up that invisible door that you didn't know was there the whole time. But again, you can't see it with your physical eyes. You don't know it's there. You thought about all the possibilities, but you really don't know because things work in a, what I want to say, magical way. It's miraculous. We call it miracles. We call them blessings. We call it magic. And some would call it science or quantum physics, because when one thing happens, it affects this and that, and then it all boom, 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 domino effect, boom, something happens. Well, it's unseen to this physical eye, so I would call it magic. And I woke up this morning, and even when I was going to bed last night, thinking about the word enthusiasm. Now look it up. I want you to look it up, and I'll put it here for you, because I looked it up before, and like I said before, look into different words, the etymology of different words, because it gives you a different perspective on the words. But enthusiasm, I live a life of enthusiasm. So if I live a life of enthusiasm, then I want to wake up with that. And if I wake up with that, what does that look like? What is that? What do I need to believe to be able to do that? What do I need to believe to be able to move through life with enthusiasm? Then I need to start incorporating those beliefs, right? And so I still haven't cleaned this out, but I feel like there was something else I was going to say, other than just the fact that I was sitting on the couch, starting to spiral out, starting to just get stuck. And the weight of everything was weighing down on me, although I can't see with my physical eyes. I could feel it. I could feel the sadness. I could feel all of those old thoughts and old beliefs starting to come up about how I'm not good enough, or how this always happens, and how I can never get ahead, and how, just all things, all of it would start to come up. And those are loops of thoughts that we've had in the past. And subconsciously, they just loop because we're used to it and we used to do that. And that used to be the old us. And that was what we heard. And that's what we saw. And that's all we knew. So it just loops in your mind. It loops around your body, in your auric field. So we need to break the loop and create a new pattern, a new loop. And so it's not easy. But what are you going to do? You're just going to keep letting it happen and keep staying stuck. These chickens are coming over here now. This is not for you. But yeah, so breaking the loop. I mean, there's different ways to do that. I can talk more about that in some other videos coming up. And it correlates to everything that I talk about anyway. I've talked about it before, that gap, the sacred pause in life when we feel stuck, when it's the unknown, we're unsure about things, when we feel lost, when we feel like we're drowning in life. Again, a different perspective. It's actually a sacred pause. It is an opportunity. And even with my situation and things that are going on, I was just thinking about that today. Okay, how do I change? How do I break that loop? Well, a different perspective. What's that? Well, I can only do what I can do. So whatever is going to happen is going to happen. There's a reason why it's happening. I don't know that right now, and I probably won't know that for a while. But I'm going to be present. I'm going to do what I can, and I'm going to watch the unfolding of things and look for the opportunity. People call it the silver lining. I'm going to look for the opportunity because there is an equal seed, an equal equivalent, which is the seed of opportunity in everything. There's also the equal of the negative of some things, of course. There's both sides to a coin. But what is the seed of opportunity that I can find in this situation? And so just thinking of that, and now I'm training my brain to think in that sense. I'm training my brain to find the good. I'm training my brain to understand that no matter what happens, that there is opportunity there. I don't know what kind of connections I'll make. There's a loud plane. Helicopter with red underneath. Sorry about that, y'all. But I'm just letting this record so that there's no editing and I don't have to spend time doing that because I need to use my mental capacity on other things right now. And I'm sorry about all the chickens and turkeys. They're coming closer and they're being really loud. I'm going to see if I can stick this stick down in here and get down to the bottom to clear out some of that sludge. But as with our lives and our minds, to get that new in, you got to clear out the old. I've talked about this before. This is definitely the season of letting go and clearing out the old and preparing for the new. We're about to go into the spring season. March 20th will mark spring, the first day of the spring equinox. And, in preparation for that, we should be, and it is recommended to start to clean the space, clear it out, do the spring cleaning. Some would wait until then to start spring cleaning, depending on where you live at and the weather. You might have to do that for certain stuff that's outside, but you can also start inside. Get a head start on that. And again, that opens up space and that clears the space around you and it feels more open. And then it may open some mental things for you as well, some doors of opportunity. We can plant new seeds, or we can start planting those seeds so they can start sprouting, and we can plant them in the ground once the weather gets warmer. So we are already prepared and ready for whatever comes. And I can't really get to the bottom of this. Some's coming out now. So we may be good here. It's kind of dried up a little bit. I'm going to look for a skinnier stick to insert into the bottom part here. I don't know if this is sturdy enough. Yeah, it's not sturdy enough. And I also don't know what was on that stick. So we might have to go with this. But thank you all for sticking with me. Again, please leave me in the comments what you do when you are unsure. What do you do when you're unsure? Do you just sit there and try and figure it all out in your head? Do you resort to eating certain things, consuming certain things? What do you do when you feel unsure? Do you go for a walk? Do you pray? Do you consult someone in your life? What is it that you do when you are unsure, when you feel like things are closing in on you, you don't have the answer for things, feel like you're doing your best, but nothing is working out for you? These trees are beautiful though. And I am grateful for the trees, the leaves, the birds, the bees, all of the things, my life, my body, the opportunities, my family, light, sun, warmth, clothes, food for sure, the food. Yeah, this time on earth has been an unforgettable one. And I don't say that like I'm ready for anything to happen. Definitely not that. I'm going to grab this stick right here. Look, I just say that, oh man, look, it's so wet out here that it all just crumbles apart. Like everything's soaked. But it's also nourishing the ground in a sense for everything that's going to be growing this spring. Things are going to be blooming, depending on the weather, probably pretty early. These frogs have been kind of crazy out here as well. Been like late at night, like or early in the morning, like after 1 a.m., just making a lot of noise too. But oh, see, this isn't the best. It's like breaking apart in there, but it's still doing that. But I'm getting some of the seeds out. Get some of this wet stuff off of here. I think the birds are ready. I hear them. They're probably watching me do this. But yeah, thank you for sticking around during this video. You know, I just want to talk today and also move my body and bring you along for that. I am working on some things. I've talked about this before, but I will be sharing them in some future videos. I'm going to be recording some new videos this week, and I want to start doing things while I'm recording because I understand people's attention spans, and also it will allow me to get some things done while I'm recording. So 2 birds, 1 stone type of a thing. Sorry, birds. But yeah, no, thank you all for sticking around with me. It's starting to get chilly. The sun is going down, so I'm going to get back inside. I'm going to hang this back up, and hopefully, actually, I'm going to pour some of this on the side for them. But yeah, I hope y'all are doing good. As always, continue to shine on. You know, life is life. Things are going to happen. It's not going to be the best. You know, you do what you can. Leave the rest to God, to the universe, whatever it is that you claim. And yeah, you know, experience life, feel it, eat some good food, and let's continue to, you know, be the good in the world, be the change that we want to see. So until next time, y'all, shine on.